The general consensus were that, well, he'll be dead in a year. That was the belief in the department. None of us had any experience with this, had seen anybody survive this without surgery.
I love fear, because it's the fuel to the moon rocket.
We talk about fear, we talk about anxiety, we talk about stress, we talk about overwhelm, we talk about all these things, but what is it? What is it really?
So before I got cancer, I was actually asking the universe to help me, help me be more authentic. And I tried and I tried and I just couldn't. I was so stuck in these patterns and programs that I had created, sort of like survival mechanisms, to how to get along with people and be liked and be loved, and they had taken me over completely. So even though I wanted to change, I actually couldn't.
Fear is not a bad thing. It just shows us where we have stored energy.
What we're looking to work with is perceived fear that might not be true in the moment and simply a reflection from the past.
Why is it that I cannot be myself? Because there's some inherent belief that whatever it is that you're experiencing, if the world knew about it, you would be in some kind of danger.
Our society is very much set up to rely and to not trust ourselves, but to look outside of ourselves for medication, for professional opinions here. Where are we going inside and asking these questions to ourselves? And then we might discover something we've never actually known that was there.
One of the major concerns we have with melanoma is that once it's spread, it can spread quite rapidly.
Even if in the moment we feel like this is the worst possible position I could be in financially, relationally, whatever it might be, physically, if all is perfect in this moment, what is this here to teach me?
I made the choice to not do the hospital treatments and to just go all in on everything I actually believed in.
The patient was very, very certain that he didn't want this treatment, and that was difficult.
Sometimes the fear would be almost dizzying, like vertigo. And the question now was, do I have the courage to actually look at this?
We only discover the deeper causal layer of emotion and trauma in our system through some kind of crisis.
If you don't treat this, if you don't remove the cancer, don't get the lymph nodes removed, this disease will rapidly progress, leading to more lymph nodes being affected, pain, suffering, spreading to the rest of the body, and eventually death.
This was not so much about surviving cancer. This was about starting to really live.
It really starts with the first realization that it's up to me to shift, and no one else can do that for me. Not the children, not the husband, not the whatever.
We're fearful of fantasy lions. It's not real. Because reality is always in the moment. So what is actually dangerous in the moment?
So it is quite interesting for me coming into this film project now, being on camera and sharing my story, and recognizing that I actually feel like I'm performing a bit, like I'm a little bit afraid to just be myself.
The only remedy for all of this is the willingness to be present within yourself and to move into the sensations. But our mechanisms of self-protection ultimately become our own prisons. We become encaged in them. And we think we're protecting ourselves, but actually we're just the key holder to our prison cell, keeping us locked in misery.
Two of the ministers in Norway in the government gave an interview to the media, to newspapers, saying that I am a dangerous person. So that tsunami of fear just hit me, and I was just shaking for 3 days. But it passed. And when it passed, and you don't fight the fear, you just observe whatever it is, it just turns into something else. And that's creative power, and that's life force, and it's healing force.
If the impulse says go, someone who's fearless just fearlessly follows that impulse. Just does it. Doesn't matter what the consequences are, I live from this place.